guys, my name is Michelle. I would like to testify about something that happened to me and what the LifeWave patches has done for me in my journey thus far. In October 2021, I was diagnosed with SLE myositis. Well, I asked the doctor in layman's term, what is SLE myositis? She told me in plain common English, it's lupus. And she suspected that it would be in my muscles and my organs. And so I spent time in hospital where they did every thinkable test on me that you can imagine. Then we were introduced to LifeWaves by Derek. My husband started patching me with the X39 and the Aeon. In the beginning, I used to use 32 pills to let me cope through a day. It was horrific, if I can call it that. The feeling of not being yourself, always tired, always in pain. It really tires one. I used to battle getting up in the mornings. It would take me a while to get moving, getting all the parts into one place, and they're all just to get moving for the day. After I've been patched, I started waking up earlier. Wasn't that difficult getting out of bed anymore and doing my day task. And then at the end of it, days at work, come home, just flop onto the bed, and then that was it for the day. The patches started working for me, and I've been, as I said, on the X39 and the Aeon. Then my husband suggested me going on the glycophase and the carnosine, which I also use. And I must say, from 23 tablets at a time, I am on 3 tablets. I am waiting for test results to see if I can leave those tablets due to the patches that I've been wearing. And yes, LifeWave patches was a change in my life. I am back to gardening, park running, spending time with family and friends, not always feeling nauseous and tired and things like that. So I would like to give my testimonial about beating lupus. It's incurable, but the patches makes life bearable, and it works. So that is my testimonial about lupus, and that you can live with it and make the best of life what was given to you. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Hi Wanda, I'm so glad that I met you here because I've heard your story about having lupus and doing the X39 patch for the last 7 months. I'd love for you to share about your journey, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, my name is Wanda Rodriguez, and as we all know that the patch does not treat or cure, but I want to say that I've been on the patches since November 2023. I started using X39 until about the second week of February. And February, I added Aeon to my product, to my treatment. And after the month of February, I started doing X39, Aeon, and IceWave. And now, going into my 7th month, I just started treating myself with all the rest of the patches just to see what they do for me. But as of April, I have been free from lupus, and I was told by my RA doctor and my regular doctor that I have no trace of lupus within my blood work.
Wow, that's incredible.
Today I walk around with my information, and I've been showing
all your numbers
for everyone to see that this is real. It takes time, it's a process. Actually, this week makes 2 months and 2 weeks that I officially took myself off all the medication, and I feel great.
Is that for your lupus and your RA?
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yes.
And your RA has cleared up as
My
well.
RA numbers have always been 800 and up, and as of April, they were 318.
That's incredible. And the ice wave you put on the bottom of your feet for body pain, right?
Yes,
So
the
that's
ice
really
wave,
been helpful.
I notice it gives me a better effect underneath my plant of my feet.
Yes.
And you could also use them on your wrist if you like, but I personally choose to use underneath my feet.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Wanda. I really appreciate you sharing this. And
You're
I know lots of
welcome.
people are going to really appreciate it too.
You're welcome.
G. Mortar, and she's here with me tonight. And she has had phenomenal success also with the patches. And I'm first going to just let you let BG share her life. What was life like before you found the patches, BG?
You found the patches for me, Charity, and introduced me to them. I was sickly, to put it mildly. I was diagnosed with lupus, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoporosis, and thyroid issues in my 40s, and I'm now 78. I've been on this journey. It's a year now, 1 year. And prior to that, I lived with pain, so I didn't really know how bad I was until the different things started changing. I put the patch on and felt differences in 4 hours. So I went, well, total pain to feeling like someone was rubbing my back and putting deep heat right down the spine. I lived with inflammation on every joint. My knees looked like watermelons, and that just melted away. And today I hardly have any inflammation, even in this Texas heat. So my knees are good. I was a candidate for knee replacements, and the doctor wanted to schedule me a year ago before we did the patches. I had done stem cells injections, and they didn't do anything. But the patches have made such a difference that I haven't even gone back to the surgeon to even consider knee replacement. Let me see. So I'm walking now. I can go to the gym. I'm in silver sneakers. I stretch. I do all of the things that they tell you to do. I can do. I also had damage to my eyes from the Western medicine for lupus. And I had dry eyes, dry mouth, dry nose, and the dryness had caused wrinkled retina. And so I went for my annual checkup, I'd say almost a year before I started the patches. And they noticed macular degeneration starting, and the wrinkled eye looked really bad. So they had me come back in 6 months. And so I was on the patches about 4 or 5 months at that time. There is no signs of macular degeneration. And the wrinkled retina had improved. And, you know, when you're in your 70s, these are things the doctors were shocked about. I also had my annual physical. And the doctor said, your blood is amazing. You're like a 50-year-old. Your organs are like a 50-year-old. Your heart is in perfect condition. You have great blood pressure, no odd sounds for my age. And he said, keep up the good work. So I've had improvement everywhere, but I also had lived with toxins. I had mold in my condo. I've been out of my condo for 1.5 years because of the mold everywhere. Well, it got into my teeth and also the dryness before. So compound. I lost all my teeth. So I'm just sipping my meals for 4 months until I get my permanent dentures, permanent implants in. But when I went back after they removed it 4 months ago, I just went back last month, and he said, my gosh, you have bone growing around the titanium. He said, we expected it to firm up and go into the bone, but you have new bone growth all around them. He said, you are a perfect candidate, the perfect patient because everything has gone right about it. So I'm a created new woman. Everything is working really well in my late 70s. So that's my testimony.
Well,
Did I forget?
and one other thing, BG, when you started your journey with the dentist, you had the markers for the you had 8s and 9s, remember?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. When you go to the dentist and they see how your bone loss is and they take that little pick, well, my numbers were always 8s and 9s. And just before they did the surgery, it was 2. The bone growth was there. And then he was really shocked when he saw that the bone grew right around the titanium implants. So it was a surprise to him.
So BG has had some just phenomenal results, but she had a lot going on when she started that X39. And when I seen her 2 years ago, I was really concerned because she was in so much pain and she had tried so many things again that I didn't know what was going to happen if we didn't get her help. So of course I had to share the X39 with her.
And today we've got Letitia DeGraaf. She is all the way from Neisner. So Letitia has been with LifeWave for a little while and she's used the patches. So I'm going to introduce her quickly. Letitia, good morning.
Hi, Mandy. Nice being here.
So you've been using the patches, I think it's about a year, a little over a year if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is just over a year.
Okay, so you started using some of the patches and tell us a little bit about how you found them. We also know that you've struggled with a few things. So take us back to like kind of the beginning when you started using the patches and a little bit around your results that you had with the patches.
Sure, Mandy. I was diagnosed with lupus about 7 years ago, which on its own had lots of complications. And as you know, it's an autoimmune and it works on every single organ in your body. So my brain, I had a stroke 7 years ago, and I battled to concentrate, number one. I was on antidepressants, mood stabilizers, not really for being depressed, but just to help the neurons and everything in the brain. But that sort of really didn't make me feel well. And most of the time I was incapacitated. I was basically in bed. And then I started using Aeon, and all of a sudden my mind became clearer. Number one, I was taken to hospital to do a scan because obviously after the stroke I was having seizures. And the neurologist couldn't believe it. She said to me, I cannot believe how much you improved. And you're not having half as many seizures during the day and in the evening. So I could drop my epileptic medicine to the bare minimum. And then I started using the carnosine, and that gave me so much energy that at least I could spend more days out of bed and I had more energy, and I started walking. And now I'm walking like 6 kilometers a day. And then the X39 I started using after I used the carnosine and the Aeon. I must say the glutathione made me very sick in the beginning. I phoned you a couple of times and you said you understand because that was detoxing me from all the drugs. I mean, every 6 months I was having methotrexate. I was permanently on plasmaquine, which is the malaria meds, which made my hair fall out, and yeah, at one stage I thought I was getting a wig. The X39 really helped me. It's absolutely amazing. My skin started changing, my hair started growing back. I think this is the longest I've had my hair in years. So yeah, I hope that LifeWave is the way to go.
And I know too that you've also got some people in your business that have been using the patches as well. So any great testimonials coming from their side of things that really helped them when they were using some of the patches?
Yes, well, one that stands out was my mom. And funny enough, she had an abscess in her mouth. And I said that she must just use the X39. And a couple of days later, when she went back to the dentist, the abscess was gone and it saved her teeth. Sure, I've got so many. I've got one of the ladies that was really very, very sick on her stomach. She battled quite a bit. And 2 years later, when she went for an operation, she realized that she had a growth, but the growth malignant, and really it was because of her using the X39 and all the other patches. I've had people that have torn their shoulder muscles, a bodybuilder, a weightlifter, and yeah, as soon as he put the X39 on, in a couple of days later, he went back to training. A lot of the golfers here, where I stay on the state, they do not go without the X39 for their lower backs, because they just say their backs get so sore playing, you know, the movement, you being a golfer yourself. And they do not go without having a patch on the back when they play. So it really is remarkable. And you can see, even when people use the X39, their skin, the texture of their skin changes, you know. So
yet again, we're sharing this amazing technology this morning because, you know, I think, I know for us, and I know that some of my clients as well, many clients, we've got loads and loads of testimonials from around the world. But I think South Africans are as such that we want to hear us. We want to hear South Africans having improvement. We want to hear that there are actually people that are physically getting improvement. You know, you get all these big companies that have all of this hearsay, and very often people say to me, yeah, but you know what, Mandy, they can write those testimonials themselves. And I think, you know, we look at the patch and we think, oh, you know what, it's too good to be true. And sometimes when we even look at these little patches and we think, you know, really, that's going to do something, this little, and then when I say to people, you know, and it doesn't give you anything, then they go, so what is it going to do? You know, we're so programmed to believe that our bodies have to get something for us to really start getting better. And you know what's nice about your testimonial, Letitia, is because of your autoimmune. I mean, Letitia, let me tell you that I know Letitia has been through some really, really bad bouts where she has landed up in hospital ready to almost leave the planet because she just cannot, her body's just switching off totally, and starting her patches, then again her patches just absolutely get her body going, transforming her body. So, you know, yet again, we always say it's not one or the other that often fixes a body. You really have to understand this technology. You really have to understand that there's a few things, you know, Letitia also did a skio session with me, which helped her kind of reset her consciousness and understanding of why her body was expressing itself the way that it was. And she also felt that just getting that insight and realizing, oh my word, it's actually my environment that I need to change, and like ASAP before I'm going to get better. And that helped her even more. So when we look at our healing, it's important that we understand there's so many different facets. Hey, Letitia. And
absolutely.
I mean, and then not only that, let's talk about your wonderful place that you are creating in Knysna. Letitia has linked up with an incredible product as well, where she's going to help people that are overweight and need to really get their lifestyle in check and change a few things to truly start helping them on that wellness journey. So tell us a little bit about that too, Letitia.
Great. I will, Mandy. There's just something that I do want to sort of improvise or just state, that it's not an overnight thing. A lot of times I was used to just having a tablet and that could get me through the day, but I didn't realize what it was doing to my liver. So you do have to start, definitely, start at the beginning. Start with the Aeon in the evening. That helped me to sleep. Work on the X39. It's not a miracle maker, but because, as you have explained, X39 goes to the body to where it needs to heal first. So although I thought, oh my goodness, it must heal my brain, it wasn't. It was actually healing my bladder and my kidneys. So just to throw that in, because I think that's quite important, because a lot of people in the beginning were saying, oh, but you use this and, you're still getting sick, but it's a journey, and a physical and emotional journey, because metaphysically we manifest what's going on in our bodies. At the moment, I'm looking at having a retreat. Can you hear me? Okay.
I'm just going to say something before you continue, Letitia. That's a very interesting point that Letitia's brought up, that yes, it is a journey. And this is exactly what happens sometimes to people. They get a little impatient because they bought it because they want their brain to be fixed, because Letitia really struggled she didn't have much attention span. She really struggled to just function throughout the day. When I went to Neisner to help them with training, she was really struggling to absorb the knowledge and just integrate what we were teaching her. And that's very important. So whilst you are starting this journey, you are going to find that unfortunately, it's going to, or fortunately and unfortunately, it's going to fix the things that are required to fix first before you fix the things that you bought the patches for. So although you bought the patches for something specific, it's going to fix something, and all the things that it knows that are more broken than the thing you bought it for, it's got to fix underlying issues first before it's even going to help you with the others. So I think this is the hardest part, Letitia, is telling this to and explaining this to people, that just be patient, because it's going to help you truly in your entire body. I mean, you are activating stem cells throughout the body so that the body can start repairing the things that it hasn't had a chance to repair before, to really give you your vitality. And I must say, I've seen you in interim through the year and a bit that I've actually met you, and you're looking amazing at the moment. You really are.
Oh, thank you. I'll send you a before. I'll send you a photo from when I first started. So yes, I still do get, but first of all, I couldn't even drive to George without having Ritalin, and eventually I didn't want to drive anymore, because the neuropaths, I would actually see a car coming, and then that was just too dangerous. Where now I feel a little bit more comfortable, and my brain, I do see things, I remember things. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I would say it's 100 times better. Okay, so to tell
and
you what I'm...
also just quickly, and also just remember the time frame. So it's been a year, Letitia, that you've been using the patches. Yeah,
absolutely.
So this has not been 1 month, this has not been 2 months, this has been a year's journey up until this point. So you've got to keep that in mind. This is, and that's a good point to make. It is a journey. Well-being is never going to be a quick fix. It's never going to be a magic wand. It is a slow process, and it's one step at a time. That's very important for us to really explain that in what we're doing today.
Absolutely. And LifeWave wouldn't have come across my path if it wasn't supposed to help me. So it's just to believe in yourself, and just to believe that you will receive whatever you need to help you to go forward. So definitely.
My life before the patch, I was a COVID long hauler, and I was spitting up lots of phlegm every day. I also have lupus, celiac, which included severe constipation. I had poor liver function and kidney function. Both of us had sleeping difficulty. I had high cholesterol. I was pre-diabetic. And after COVID, my heart rate was always between the upper 90s and the lower hundreds. Hair loss, it was dull, and it was falling out all over the place. And then X39. And since that time, I'm not spitting up maybe twice a day now compared to 20 times. My constipation has turned into regular bowel movements. My kidney and liver function has improved. I'm sleeping to the point where someone's got to kick me out of the bed now in the morning. My high cholesterol went from 224 down to 186. I hadn't been under 200 probably for 25 years. My A1C went from 6.1 to 5.9. My heartbeat is now stable between 77 and 80. My hair is now growing longer, faster, and it's also got some of its shine back. When I had my eyes tested and went to the eye mart, the lady goes, "Did you just have cataract surgery?" And I said, "No, about 3 years ago. Why do you ask?" And she said, "Because your vision has improved so much." My ferritin dropped from 227 to 183. I also have arthritis and thyroid problems, but those are getting better as well. And I think the skin tone on my neck is better. I've always had pretty good complexion, so I don't know how much that's improved, but I like looking 20 or 25 years younger.
Yes, well, and we can see by your picture that we showed the before and after. You know, when you first sent it to me, I thought, these are two different women. I mean, and I think a lot of comments are coming in that are showing that that it's amazing. So, any last minute comments or anything you want to share before you end?
Well, I still need to lose some weight, but I was concentrating on the bigger things first, getting those better, and then I'm going to try the SX6 or whatever for weight loss. And
yes.
Yes, that. And I just patched my husband's back yesterday because he was having some pain, but he lifts big, heavy stuff all the time, and he felt much better after patching it. I'm just so thankful for these. I've had so many friends that I've been able to introduce to, and just feeling so much better. A woman that was bedridden for 4 months on the patches, 2 weeks, and she's able to get out of the bed by herself now. So
Wow.
These are real people with real stories.
I'm Tansy Johnson. I'm here in Utah. My sister-in-law, Peggy Hayes, introduced me to X39. A lot of my family's doing it now, and my story basically is that I've had systemic lupus erythematosus for about 34 years now. I've been in pain a lot. Some years have been okay, but the last 5 years basically have been harder. Sorry. My sister introduced me to this, and I started wearing the patch 2 weeks ago today. So what I noticed the first day, which was surprising, is that I could move my head just like Pam. I could move my head, and I could look up at the ceiling, and I could look to my left without having it for my body to do so. That was amazing. With the lupus, my pain levels basically been from anywhere from a 6 to a 9, and it's down now to a 3 to a 4, which to me is absolutely wonderful. I have spider veins all over my thighs, and they're basically almost gone, which is, and that surprises me. Yes, that surprises me because that's so fast. They're still there, but most of them are gone, which is quite a marvelous miracle in myself. I've had neuropathy for the last 5 years in my feet, walking on marbles or rocks or pointed rocks, jagged rocks, and the pain has been pretty bad on that. But that's almost in half. So that pain is going down now. I've been doing iridology for several years, and I keep an eye on my eyes. And they've had this yellow toxic overlay on them, making my eyes green, which they were always blue when I was younger. And now looking in the mirror to look at my eyes, even using a magnified mirror, I can see the spokes in my eyes now. They were always covered up and they're turning back to blue. So, one of the biggest things that I've noticed that is just blowing me away is that the inside of my body feels like it's been washed clean. I don't know how else to explain that. It just feels like something I've not felt many, many years. It's clean. There's the pain is gone. The pain, I mean, there might be some that comes up here and there a little bit, but for the most part, it's pretty much gone. And I'm just so excited about that because I was getting to the point that I was thinking I was not going to make it to my 70th birthday. And the last 6 months, I was starting to think I wasn't going to make it to my 69th birthday. But now I'm not worried about that at all. I think I'm going to make it to being 100. So that's exciting because with lupus, you don't live a long time after having it. So thank you, X39. Thank you, everybody, for pointing me to this and helping me with it. And thank God for it because it's been through him that it's come to me.